check the headlines, guys. Spice and Wolf anime news is coming soon. Set your calendars, get ready for it. My gosh, I could not be more excited. Absolutely love the series. Source? Hold on. Source. Believe me, bro. I absolutely hate leaks. I hate news sources that are not sourced. I just hate it because I always try to find a source before I say anything. And so yes, when I seen a lot of people tweeting that new information is going to come for Spice and Wolf soon, I'm looking everywhere trying to find somebody who will actually source where this information is coming from. Because yes, for me personally, absolutely love Spice and Wolf. I haven't gotten a chance to read the entire light novel, but what I've read, I absolutely love. I love the original anime, even though I had to watch it twice before I fell in love with it. I still love it. I got the whole manga series. I adore this series. I even got that stupid, gigantic tome book. So anything around Spice and Wolf, I'm going to get super excited. And so yes, back last February of 2023, when they announced that it's going to get a new anime adaptation, I was extremely excited. Although back then, I put a lot of pause to it because so little information was given about it. So typically whenever you have an anime announced, sometimes you'll have some that say, hey, here's a new anime, it's coming in fall, and you're like, holy crap, announcement and date. You'll get some that are announced along with the studio itself with no date. It varies with every single announcement, and that usually gives you an indication about how far into production it actually is. And with Spice and Wolf, literally nothing, just the fact that it's been greenlit, which again, indicates that they have no studio. They don't even know how long it's going to be. They didn't even announce what they were actually doing. Is it a remake from the start? Is it a continuation of the last adaptation? Nothing. So at the time when that was announced, I kind of told a lot of people, just pause. Don't get too excited just yet. I'm excited, and I'm going to be excited, but don't expect this to come anytime soon. This is very, very early in production. We're in the new age of leaks that really truly does ruin things, and I think that's why they announced this so early. Companies are afraid of leaks now. Leaks get out, expectations are set, and then it blows up in the face of not the leaker, but the companies themselves. I've been saying this for a while now. Because anime is getting popular now, it is inviting a group of people that are known as the leakers. It is also giving incentives to people inside of the companies to provide those leaks. Everything to get clicks, everything to get engagement on certain accounts and make money from it. And that's the unfortunate thing that's happening in the anime sphere. And the companies themselves in Japan are starting to realize this, and they're trying to get ahead of the game. Because for them, it's damaging in a lot of ways. Because if somebody behind the scenes, if somebody in there that's the leaker, gets wind of something that is proposed but not confirmed or signed to a contract, they will leak that information out, it's incorrect, and it blows up in the face of not the leaker, once again, but the company. You said we would have this studio doing this anime adaptation. And they're like, no, we never said anything because that was in works and it wasn't confirmed, but somebody leaked it. So I think that's the case with Spice and Wolf. They wanted to get ahead of that, or maybe they were just excited. They could have just been excited. They wanted to tell all the fans that are massive, the Spice and Wolf fans are massive. There's so many of them, and they're so passionate about this property. They wanted to get ahead of that, so they announced it. And as time went on, and me personally, along with many other people, were scrambling for anything. Anything hiccups on any Twitter feed or social media or website, we are looking at with a magnifying glass. But still nothing. Crickets after an entire year. You would assume at this point we would get at least a studio. But that's when I started to tell people, again, it was announced way too early. And it looks like that's the case. As I'm looking for information about new information coming, I was looking for at least a post that says maybe an event is coming up and people are expecting that something is going to get announced there. And so yes, as I'm looking for some sort of event or confirmation of some sort of announcement, I didn't find anything. But I did find one thing. On the Spice and Wolf author's Twitter account a few days ago, there was somebody mentioning the idea that typically rebroadcasts will mean announcements for sequels. It's just a kind of a thought process that a lot of people have. In a lot of cases, they'll have some show just suddenly gets a rebroadcast on television in Japan, and that sometimes leads into gauging interest and announcing sequels. And yes, here recently, Spice and Wolf is being provided on different platforms. So someone was mentioning the fact that rebroadcast gets sequels, and the account itself replied saying, also, could this be? I think it was kind of a little bit of a jab of like, well, yeah, technically Spice and Wolf is rebroadcasting right now. Maybe a sequel's coming. It just seemed like a goofy comment to me. But yes, it could be mentioned the idea that at some point with every broadcast, they're going to announce something. But the main core thing to realize here is it seems like based on that comment, they sort of felt the necessity to sort of say something. And yes, they did. Shortly after, they posted, I think there will be a little more news about the anime. So please wait a little longer. Additionally, announced too quickly. There's the key thing there. Yes, there will be more announcements coming. That's a given. You can't really be lying by saying there's going to be more announcements coming, because there's always going to be more announcements coming. But more so than anything, what hits me is that later part, announced too quickly. They're admitting at this point that, yeah, we sort of got the news out a little too fast. Again, very early in production itself, meaning they don't really have anything to really announce at this point. I truly think at this point, they may not even have a studio yet. But this isn't bad news by any stretch. I am not unhappy about this. This tweet actually encourages me. They're willing to admit they were in early stages and not to have the expectations that something is coming out soon. And that gives me a lot of hope that they're not rushing things. They're not just gonna grab any studio. They're maybe possibly behind the scenes, they're being a little picky about who they're gonna give this project to. My hope that has been for a long time now is that it would be Studio Bind's second team. Having Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation be a full adaptation and cycling to a secondary show being Spice and Wolf. Again, a full adaptation. And I'm really hoping that here soon, whenever they do announce their second B project, it will be Spice and Wolf. And it does sort of line up with this comment. Maybe they have been waiting for Bind to sort of free up their B team. And then here soon they can possibly go, hey, look, here it comes. But keep in mind that most projects like this are several years in the making. So if they're just now sort of lining up things with Bind or something like that, expect at least 2 years out. Especially if this project, they're handling it with true care. And they're not just trying to push it out for the sake of pushing it out. There is a hope here that this project, this new anime project, is one where they're really trying to make sure that it's done right. Keep in mind that the light novel series itself is technically concluded its main story a long time ago. A long time ago. I even have it on my shelf. Now, granted, again, they're still making more novels. They even have the side novels they're doing, Parchment and Wolf. But the main series is technically done. And so this, like many other projects of its kind where it is an adaptation of something that technically is concluded and thus cannot necessarily sell source materials, gives me hope that they're going to want to have this be something that's done right this time. Say something like Fruits Basket. Something done right. We're going to conclude it. We're going to do the full thing no matter what. That's my hope. But who knows? Maybe that might be the upcoming announcement. Spice and Wolf is a very beloved franchise. It's a franchise that honestly has such a massive cult following that anything it sells like crazy. It is one of the few properties that still to this day is releasing figures on a regular basis, and they're obviously selling very well because they wouldn't be releasing figures. I remember at some point it felt like every week they were announcing another figure of Holo. Holo sells. And my hope is that this is a massive passion project they want to have done properly. And yes, for those that don't know, my hope is that it's a restart from the beginning. Not that there's anything wrong with the original anime adaptation. It's sort of in that area of like early Digipaint where it's got that kind of blurriness to it, but it's still a great looking show. So I do kind of hope for it to have a readaptation of those first volumes into a new anime adaptation. And another reason why is because I have sort of been dabbling into, yes, there is a volume that is missing from the anime adaptation. So there is a hope that they will just do a full anime adaptation, start from the very beginning, set it to the new art style, do the entire thing, tell this fantastic story, and make it a complete works. But we'll have to wait and see. I just want to make sure that people have their expectations set. Again, recalibrate yourself. Don't listen to all these leaks. Just recalibrate yourself to understand this is probably going to take a long time. But that is good news because they're taking care and they're not rushing it. And in the end of the day, it's better that we have a confirmation that it is happening rather than the several years that we've been existing where we just never knew if it was going to happen. It's better to have an announcement that it exists rather than no announcement and always wondering if it ever will. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just me really kind of rambling and talking about how much I love Spice and Wolf and my expectations set for this particular series. But if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what you think of this whole situation. Are you still excited for the series? Are you like, you know, I'll be patient, I'll just wait, do it right, and take your time? And what do you think of leaks? Are you, I'm so sick of leaks at this point. If I see a post and there's no source, I'm like, forget it. I messed up one time with a video where I actually talked about a leak, and I'm like, I will never again. I promised everybody at that point I would never ever do a news bit about a leak. Even though this is technically one, it's more disputing the leak. But additionally, if you're new to this channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. Special thanks to Jason Griffin, who just became a patron. I really do appreciate the support. It means so much to me, and y'all take care.